Welcome everybody. Again, this is our monthly webinar series with one of our great partners in MemberSports and Nick Anderson here. They've been supportive of the section for the last couple of years and have stepped up their role this year and will be supporting us at our annual meeting and merchandise show in September. So Nick's going to talk about how technology can help you guys with your revenue. So Nick, I'll turn it over to you. Feel free to share your screen. Like I said, we are recording this, and we'll have this live up on our website and out in our emails this week, so for our members to see. So, Nick, thank you and welcome, and appreciate you doing this.
Yeah, no, it's great to be here. Glad I could jump on. Appreciate you guys having me. Love the Georgia section. It's great, great area. Great section. We've had a lot of just good interaction with everybody down there. So one of the things that always pops up in our industry, in the software industry, is just about, I think one of the biggest pain points is just how to increase revenue. Golf is in a really good state right now, but that can change at any moment. There's a lot of things that can happen within the golf industry. But I mean, as far as I'm concerned, my personal opinion, I think golf is going to stay strong for a while. There's going to be some really good momentum with the youth and other things, and there's just a lot coming down the line that I think we'll have a pretty healthy future with everything going on. But that doesn't mean that there's going to be some areas where, depending on the economy and how things go out, there's always opportunities and things that we should take advantage of now to help create loyalty, to help create, revenue and through that. And one of the things that we've done at MemberSports that I still don't believe anyone else has done this yet, but I'll start off with one. And feel free if there are, I don't know, Scott, you can kind of guide if there are questions or if there's things that you guys want to talk about or as we go through this. I love just going through. I hate just being here talking about everything, going through it all. I love questions. I love people's comments, and love to get some feedback on everything that if there is any. But yeah, go ahead, Scott.
Good.
Is that?
I was gonna say, any questions? Yeah, just you can use the little hand button down there on the bottom and raise your hand, or put something in the comment section as well. We'll monitor those.
Yeah, that'll be great. And so one of the things that we started off doing that we loved, and just because we saw more and more courses in the daily fee area are going to prepay, and it helps with. I think prepay is a great way of doing things. Everything is prepay, no matter what you do. You book a hotel a lot of times, you book a flight, you go, you order something online, you're going to go to a concert, you're going to go do all this stuff. Like, you're paying for that beforehand. And I think that's where I think part of the issue was that cities were just being accommodating for their citizens and trying to be really good at, I think times have changed to where everything is prepaid and everything should be prepaid. And so as we looked into our system, as we created the prepay area in our software, we thought with golf prices going up, it was a little difficult for somebody to go in and say, hey, I'm going to book a tee time. You're either going to be on the hook for a foursome for either $200, or it could be close to $1,000, $2,000, depending on where you're playing, right? And then you're going to have to go collect that money from your friends. And Venmo's made that really great, and it's a great product, but you still have to go collect it. And one of the things that we came up is what we call self-pay. So if you're on a prepay system and you go out there and you go on to our system and you book a tee time, which I'll kind of show you here. I'm going to share my screen and go to that. So as you go into okay, there it is. As you go in, and everyone see that?
Yes.
Okay. So if I come in here and I go down to this prepay system here, We just go payment required, and you go allow self-pay invitations. And what we do is it allows you, if you're booking a tee time online, you're able to send out a invite to as many players as you want. And the first, say you have a foursome, and the first 3 to accept and to pay, it sends them a link. They get put onto the tee sheet automatically. And you can come up here with the status update reminder. So 96 hours before the tee time, this message will preview 2 spots have not been claimed for your round, or however many spots. And if they're not, if they remain unclaimed, they'll be removed from your tee time without penalty, but then they go back into the system for others to book. And you can monitor that, and you can, you put all the links in there, and you can edit that message. And then this is the hour, like the deadline that it has to be paid, where say 72 hours before, the person, whoever made the tee time, they don't have one spot open, or they have one spot open, it hasn't been paid for. Well, then that they can either pay for that time, or they can just let it go, and it goes back into the public domain to be used by somebody else. And so you can set those parameters on what you want to do. And it's a really great system. So you're not on the hook. You have to pay for your time right up front. But that's one of the things that we think is really great, as far as, what you can and can't do within those parameters. So self-pay, we feel, is going to be a really big deal. And it has been already with a bunch of courses, because of a lot of people going to prepay. Yeah, so that's one of the first ones that we're pretty excited about, and we think that we can create that revenue. Because one of the things what you want to do is, once you capture that revenue, let's say they do cancel, you have the power at that point to either say, nope, it's non-refundable, you get it, you keep the funds, and then you can issue rain checks electronically. And that's one of the things that we'll get into, is that everything we do is digital. If you have a pass, if you have a punch pass, if you have a credit, a gift card, everything is tied to a phone number or email of that profile, and everything is digital. So it's so easy. So someone, say they do make a tee time, and they call you up, and it's the same day, but you have a no refund policy, and you come up and you say, hey, I want to be able to cancel, but you guys know this is a very loyal person, been a member at your course for a long time, and been playing there, but you're like, you know what, hey, I'm going to use Roger from Hermitage Golf Course, because that's I don't know if you guys are familiar with them up there. Very funny Instagram. But Roger calls in and he goes, hey, I need to cancel, for whatever reason, and you guys want to accommodate him. You can do a digital pass to them, which is a great option to do. And one of the things that we love about this is that you can go into your credits and passes, and all the courses that you have a credit or pass at with us, I can come in here, and you don't have to refund that money, but you give them a rain check so that they can use that for another thing. So you don't lose revenue. And we feel that's very important for the courses, that you're not refunding revenue unless it's a, whatever circumstance, you can do it what you want. But then they can come in here and they can monitor and manage their own credits and passes with everything that they have. So if I come in here, I'll see like, oh, I have 3 gift cards in the Denver area, Bandon Dunes, I have a credit book, Hidden Valley, I have some credit book, and you have all these different things. I have my season pass here. I can view what that season pass is. One of the things that, because we're digital with everything, we give the power back to the players to be able to manage everything and to look at everything and have access to everything. And one of the great things is that, here's where it's valid. It's valid every day, all day. Okay, so, and the dates are this. So that's my pass. So I can view that. I can see when it does, and when that does come up for renewal, it'll automatically renew if it's on that, or give them a notice to do it online. But I can come in here and I can look at all the different things. I can do my gift cards, and I can say, and this is, again, the number one thing that creates revenue and creates value is time. And what we want to do, that we've done in everything, is try to give you guys more time as operators in the system, so that you're not getting phone calls from Roger every single time saying, hey, how about this? How about this? We gave them access to everything that pertains to their account that you guys can see as well. So if I go into this gift card, started out as 5,000, I had a $353 transaction right here. Well, as a player, I can go in and see, okay, what was that? Oh, it was a tailor-made Stealth for 325. And I'd be like, you know what? I need a receipt. I'm going to print a receipt. I'm going to text a receipt or email myself a receipt without calling. That's one thing that our system is just, we want to give you guys as much time as possible. And so when everything is digital, I can come in here and see exactly what that is on anything I've used for that. I can come in here and be like, oh, Titleist Pro V1X box, $55. Okay, know that. And they can come in and check all their statements and do everything with that. So that's an important piece of, always giving time and automating. And with that, when I go in here to book a tee time, let's say I'm going to book this, I'm going to book this 9:40 tee time here. I come in here. This course does not allow you to book as a single. And this is another important piece of increasing revenue, is that if, singles can take up a lot and you guys can choose that. Now, if there's a place for a single to play like here or here, I can book as a single because it's filling in a place where there's already a twosome or a threesome. But just if there's a foursome available at that time, I can't book it as a single. I can only do it on places there. And you can adjust that however you want. It's customizable in the system, but it allows you. Singles are hard to, you never want a tee time to be just a single only as they go out in a daily fee facility. Now, country clubs are different. Country clubs, I still feel the same way. I belong to a club, and I feel like country clubs are still the same way with that. I don't think I think you should be able to book as a single during certain times, and that you should be able to adjust those and to do certain things. But I do believe that singles, even at country clubs, should have parameters around them of when they can and can't book. And again, our system allows to do that. But this is something right here where you'll see that I'm automatically detected, so there's no payment for me when I'm booking a tee time. And again, automation is key. But my guest is here. When I come in online, as I'm looking at things, I can either use a gift card. I've got to pay for my guest. We'll talk about this in a little bit. You'll see this 4% transaction card fee. We'll talk about that in a little bit, because that's something that I'd be very interested to hear about what you guys think about that, because this is a new thing that's coming up that we get a lot of questions about. But as you go down, as I'm booking a tee time online, you'll see I can have access, my gift cards, my credit book, everything comes up under my profile already. So automation is key to allow for time. So when they come to your course, they're not going to be like, hey, I have a rain check, I have a gift card, or I have a credit book. They're not going to waste your time doing that, because they're going to be able to do it online as they book already. So I have all these rain checks right here. I even have a punch pass that I can click, and it works that way too. It's just an electronic punch pass that I could use, or I can use my rain check, same for $20, and that $20 is deducted. And so and it goes in the order of expiration. The first one to expire is first, and then so on. So automation and time is key. And then of course your card is on file, really easy for your players to do. Click it, process and we're good to go. So I'm gonna stop right there. We've gone over just a bunch of things just for a few seconds. Does anyone have any questions or anything that I know? Automation, timing, digital, self-pay, those are all things that I think are all pretty apparent, that things that are coming up, and I think every system should be doing right now as far as technology is concerned. Okay. One of the next things I'm gonna just lead into that surcharge fee, and I'd love your guys' feedback at any point in time. But this is something where I feel that passing credit card fees on to players is okay, but I'd rather see it built in personally. As a player, I hate going on to to book a tee time or to purchase something, and they're passing it, and I see this convenience fee, and I'm like, well, what's that for? I think there's a cost of doing business. And I don't, as a player, I think that just as a personal preference, I don't mind paying a little more just as long as I know it's not a convenience fee for using a credit card, because every credit cards, that's like the only way to pay nowadays. And so it's kind of it's one of those things that we've allowed. It's not, we let you as the course operators to choose whether you want to pass that credit card fee on to the players or not, as a convenience fee, or however you want to do it. But I think the better experience is just building it into your pricing. I don't know if anybody has any thoughts on that, or if they can. I'm just curious of what your thoughts are. If that's something you guys feel is something we just have seen it more and more, and I'd rather see you guys, the operators and courses, just go up and increase their price by $2 or $1 or something, just so it's baked in. There was a question from Elizabeth. Yeah, so we have our own payment processing, so it's very easily integrated on the back end with everything. It is a third-party compliance and security that we have that helps control it, but we have complete control of our point of sale and processing when it comes to pricing, when it comes to everything, and all of our support is in-house. So when you do have issues, if there are any with the machine or processing things, it's all with us. So it's all support is supported just within our team, which is great. You don't have to call any third party at any point in time using our system, which again saves you guys time. But yeah, so set fee or flex rate, that is complete. We do a set fee. We can do either one, but we just like to keep it simple and say, hey, this is your fee, and it includes all cards, American Express and everything. And it just depends on how many you have in person, card not present, things like that. But it's very simple pricing when it comes to credit card processing. You don't look at your statement and see all these things going on and you're like, well, what's that? It's very simple, very concise, and easy to do. We integrate with other processors as well. We have a gateway that we do use, a third-party gateway, but again, that's kind of more there. If you choose to use your own credit card processing, that's fine with us. We do have a gateway program that we can tie into pretty much any payment processing there is. We haven't found one that we haven't yet, so that's why I say almost. Any other question? I mean, is there any comments? Maybe has anyone seen that surcharge or convenience fee? Like I said, I just see that coming up. Does that strike an interest with anyone here? Do you guys see that, or is that something you guys have been talking about?
I would say as a consumer, I mean, it kind of bothers me, but at the end of the day, you're right. I mean, to me, just bake it in and let it, we all know what the cost of doing business is. It is what it is. Then you decide whether you're going to pay the price or not, So give me the number. Let me decide if I'm going to pay it, is kind of my thought. But that's just as a consumer, not an operator.
Yeah, no, I totally agree. I have that same sentiment, but you know what? Golf is one of those things that I think either way that you do it, I think you will be able to. Get away with it one way or the other. I just have to deal with a few cranky Rogers. I saw another hand.
Yeah,
Elizabeth.
What kind of, how many courses are doing the passing on the payment processing fees, or what kind of feedback have you gotten from, I run a municipal, so, I deal, and what all golfers really deal with, a lot of seniors, and, they hate seeing the nickel and diming. So what kind of feedback have you received from other courses that use it, or how many are doing that already?
Yeah, it's just more apparent. We actually have 3 courses, one in Ohio, one in Colorado, and one in California, that are using it right now. And that they just kind of stuck to their guns. They went through it. That's just what they did. One of them did it before they switched over to us. And so it was their players already knew it was coming. The other two, the one in Colorado and the one in Grizzly Ranch in California, they kind of are like, hey, we're going to do this. And they get a lot of more groups. They're more of a destination one. And so there's that piece of it where I don't think they have to deal with those people day in and day out, because those that are local there and that do play on a regular basis just have passes. And so they just get to play. So it'll be interesting to see. That's why I'm curious as just people's thoughts at the beginning, because it's something we're just seeing more and more interest in, especially from the cities, because that's an important thing for the cities for revenue purposes, and they have a lot of credit card processing issues already with things, and so it's just an easy pass through. And I think from what we've seen, just on not only for this but other programs too, like when people switch from booking online and going straight to prepay, there's like a 3 to 4 month period of people just whining, complaining, doing all this stuff. But there's a course in Utah. They just went to the most simple. It's a county course. There's 2 courses, and they went from making tee times and paying when you get there to straight prepay, and they do 0 exceptions. You can only book a tee time 3 days in advance, and that's it. I mean, it's simple, and it's just they had a 6 month period of they were just getting like people, but now it works like clockwork, and everyone knows it, and they're over it, and they play it, and it's one of the 2 busiest courses in the entire state.
Can you toggle on the prepay for specific days of the week or time periods? How flexible is the prepay feature?
Yeah, right now it's either prepay or not, and but you can toggle it on and off very easily. There, and you can even, a lot of people like to ease into it by just doing courses in Denver that are moving to prepay that we know about, that they went from booking online to just going to card authorization needed. So you just have to have a credit card on file to book it. And then they'll move to prepay, but it kind of eases that pain of just like, oh, I have to have a card just to secure the time, and it won't charge them. It just does a $1 like pre-authorization that stays on there for a day or 2, and then it comes off just to make sure that the card is valid. But yeah, it's and then they move on to prepay. That's kind of been the transition area. But yeah, we have. So one of the things that you bring up a good point. One of the things, I'll share my screen again, and one of the things that we do have is this piece right here, where we do have these schedules that if you're going to build a punch pass, you're going to build a loyalty program, you're going to do a season pass or any type of loyalty and season pass and all that stuff. This is this is what we'll do probably for the prepay as well. We're just going to add this in, because you do bring up a good point, and this is something we've been thinking about, where I can say, like, I can add as many schedules, and this schedule I'm going to do from January. Let's just go to, April 1st, and it's only going to be on Monday through Friday. This is a weekday rate, that you can use a pass, and then you can build this one as your weekend rate pass or whatever, just a weekend pass. So you can get very specific, and you can see you can change the times to whenever. You can get very specific on when you create loyalty programs, passes. This is something that, again, it's all digital when you come on there. And this is something, again, the automation and time always just puts that back into your guys' ability to do what you do best and deliver a better experience. So you can create programs however you want and assign it, when you can assign it to different divisions so that the reporting stays separate, and you can have separate permissions and visibility. You can assign it to multiple stores. However many that you build in the system will show up here, and you can sell certain things at different areas, and so it doesn't get convoluted. Or you can share it to wherever, depending on how you do it. You can make it available in the food and beverage area. You can classify it as a range pass, golf pass, gift card, however you want. Is it a punch pass or not? If you want a punch pass, you can say like, I want this to be 100 passes. You can choose it however you want, sale price, and then you can determine when they can use that punch pass or that program, whatever it may be. And you can do it throughout the year. So it doesn't, during your prime season, it doesn't work. Maybe this is just an off-season pass or whatever it is. You can get creative. You can add discounts to certain things, whether that's in the pro shop, a store, menu, whatever it is. They get 20% off food when they eat there. You just do a lot of different things. It can expire at the end of the year, or it can just be 12 months from when they purchase it. You can create that, and you can allow them to transfer to other people. And yeah, so that's just something like what you said, that we're getting more and more. Everything we're doing is very customizable to what we do, and put that in there. So very, very cool stuff. And I think prepay will be about the same thing, because that's one thing. You bring up something to where, you know, we really want to give that power back to the operators to do that. So yeah, we want to make sure that you guys have all the capability to customize it however you want, because that's something we're going to talk about a little bit. And let's just go into it, is the making sure, again, we go back to the singles and just people when they can book, pricing, and dynamic pricing. Timing is everything, right? You know, with our dynamic pricing area module, it's very similar. You can choose when you want your pricing to go, and it's based upon utilization. We don't. This is a personal philosophy of our company, and it kind of goes back to the surcharge. Is that we don't want to nickel and dime people, and you can set limits. We don't want to. When it comes to dynamic pricing, I'm against deals, right? Because just as a person, I think you should give. I think golf is at a good state to where you just price it correct and you don't need to give deals. Now, I do think there are certain areas of the golf world that deals are a big deal, because you do get so many people coming in, and that it's just what it is. But for the most part, I think most of the areas are, I think with dynamic pricing, I just don't like deals, because once you train someone to get a deal, if they go to a course that's, especially when it's local and it's just people, when you have a daily fee, if they go to that course and they see a deal and it's like a hot deal or whatever it is, and they book it, well, the next time they go to that course, they're going to expect to get that deal. If they don't get that deal right away, marketing and everything else, they go somewhere else. They're going to look somewhere else, again, because you're not giving that deal. And so we try to stay away from deals altogether. So our dynamic pricing is strictly utilization. So you have your base price, let's just say it's $50. And let's say you can set all the different parameters you want. You can say like, okay, I want to cap. You can always cap it. But if you don't want to cap, you can just say, you know, as it gets to 50%, as the tee sheet that day gets to 50%, then let's bump it up 5%, or let's bump it up $10. You can do a percentage or a dollar amount. And I would show it right now. We're actually doing a tweak on it. And unfortunately, I can't do it on my sandbox area. But it's very similar to what you see, where it's just, you choose it. Yeah, whether actually, I do have one. Let me show you. This is a better, this is something I want to go over anyway. This is what it is like here. So it's very similar to the advanced booking here, and this is what it would look like. So the dynamic pricing would be just here, and it'd be a toggle on. But what it does is that it gives you the ability to you can set these, and you can add different utilization. It'll say add utilization, and you can choose a percentage, or you can choose a dollar. And so what it does is say, hey, once it hits 50, let's go up $5. And you can choose that, or 5%, whatever you want to do. If it hits 80% utilization, let's go up another 10, things like that. And so it's a supply and demand thing as the tee sheet gets utilized. And that's how our dynamic pricing works. We don't do deals. We don't do a third party. We don't sell tee times. We don't do any of that. We leave that all up to you. But it's these types of things where, and this is another way of increasing revenue. You can have your normal day of, anyway, I'll stop just for 2 seconds. I know dynamic pricing is that. So you'll have a date range for your dynamic pricing too, to choose that and your base price, but that's pretty much what it is with with that. You can, and the days you can divide it up just like that schedule system with dynamic pricing. You can say, hey, I don't want dynamic pricing I just want it for this time period of the day or this day only or things like that. Schedule system will be in there, just what you saw before, where you can choose the days, choose everything else, and then just let your dynamic pricing go. So you can just do it on the weekends when it's really busy. That way during the week, it's just your normal, you can kind of choose and do all that. So good question about dividing it apart. Now, the other thing with this is, if there's anything, I don't know if anybody else has anything on dynamic pricings they want to do. Yeah, same thing with hourly. It's going to look just like the where you can choose every day across, choose the time it starts, when it ends, and you can choose and add as many as you want with there. This one doesn't have the date range on it, but yeah. My other one, if I go over to the Pro Shop and I go down to here, I go to pass. This is what it'll look like, as you guys saw before. This is what that date range, so I can choose the time it starts, what days, the different schedules, this whole scheduling system, title it. This will be what it will be for dynamic pricing, so you can choose the days of what it is. That's what it is now. It's just on our sandbox, our plate. This is where we do all of our testing. They took it down they're doing an update on it to add some things in there with that scheduling piece. So yeah, there's a lot of things with that you can see. And now we don't integrate with Golf Now. We don't do anything with third parties. We can. It's but that's one of the things that, you know, we can do it. They have a great API, and we can tie into that, and we can look into doing that with things. I think Golf Now, again, has a very, very good niche where they go. Personally, I don't think all the deals that they do and the subscribe to is necessary for things, unless you have people coming from out of town constantly to that area just to play golf. I think then that's a great thing for Golf Now, and to do those things. And that's where I think there is an advantage with Golf Now, and that's why, you know, we'd be happy to tie our tee sheet into theirs. We just have to look into it. We just haven't had anybody request it yet, but they do. We have looked at their API, and it looks really good. So we can do those types of things. When we come back here to the tee sheet, this is another piece for increasing revenue that I think it's one of the best ways to do it, and it's the advanced booking. So let's say you have your normal 7-day, 14-day window for people to book tee times, and we always suggest, just for that you do have those windows that are standard, that no one can book anything more than 7, 14, or 30 days, whatever it is, just to kind of keep it very tight knit. And it also increases your it's that FOMO marketing, where people, if they don't book it at the right time, they need to go book it. That the fear of missing out, right? It's like they want it, they'll go on and book it more often if you have a very designated window, and that it fills up. And 7 to 14 days is kind of that magic number that we have found in our research to do that. Now, this is a great way. You have that normal booking window, but then you go back and you say, you know what? I don't care who books outside that 30-day or 14-day or 7-day window. They can book all they want, but they're going to get a non-refundable they have to pay whatever fee you want. That could be $50. It can be $100. If they want to secure that time before, just so they know it's going to be there, they're going to get charged $100 to book that fee. And that's the convenience fee. And again, that kind of throws into that dynamic pricing type. It's not really dynamic pricing. It's just an advanced booking fee. But then you put your tax rates, you can put your GL code. It goes to a certain division if you have a city, or a lot of times if a pro owns the shop outside of the city. This is where this comes in really handy, or if you have different areas or management courses that they want to keep their reporting separate for each course. This, again, has that capability to do it. But this is a great way of increasing your revenue as well, to make sure people are not, that they book, and that if they're going to book it, they're going to pay you a fee and you're good to go. So love this feature. I think this is something that everybody should be using. And also it can work for country clubs too. Let's just say you have like my club has a 7-day window that you can book at any point. And there's a lot of times I have to call in and just call the pro and say, like, if I have guests or if I have clients or anything that I'm doing and I just need to make sure I have that, I'll call the pro and be like, hey, I would love to have this time. Can you help me out? Just to make sure I have a tee time. They're very accommodating, but I mean, why not just, hey, if I want to book that out, I know people coming, put a $25 fee for the private club. I know, again, this is a nickel and diming thing, build it in, but this is a more of a convenience, and it is really it's going out of the way and allow them to do that online, to do things, but you can choose however you want to do that. So that's something we love. I think is a really good way of increasing revenue as well, is giving that advanced booking fee, especially for people that if you do have a destination place and they're booking a fee, 6 months, year out, whatever that may be, you can come in here and you can change that. You can add as many ranges from 100 days out, 365 days out. You can add that however you want and increase that fee to whatever, and you can just break up those ranges. So anyway, that's a great way. I think a lot of people are moving towards, and I think they should. I think that's one of the easiest ways to increase revenue and to be as subtle and still allow people to book online, but they just have to pay that extra fee. Any questions, anything that we've gone over right there? I'm going to go into the off season here really quick. So as you go into the off season, say it's that time of year, there's not enough daylight. This is where I think split tee configuration comes into play, and just being able to, when you have multi-course and multi-hole management, say you have 27 holes or you have, 36 holes or however it may be, or you have different courses. This is a great way to split your front nine, back nine. And if you have a 27 hole, it'll show all. If you have 36 9-holes that you can rotate around, it'll show all of that based upon however you have. So it'd be front nine. It would be like, you can name these two, where if you had 27 holes, they would have all 3 9-holes in there, so that they can book like 18 holes there. But this is one, if you don't have enough daylight to maximize your tee times during the day, where you can have people playing 18 holes off the front and the back to start, and then you can just see the rotation as they come through. You can put buffers in, and you can, when they can book, what's the time frame that they can book. It can be 9 holes, it can be 18 holes. You can add a block, like down here. You can increase that out. You can come in here and play with this all you want. And then once they come through, then you can and then the last part of the day, there is no rotation, and you just let them play until daylight runs out, right? So you can come in and configure that split tee configuration when there's not enough daylight, when there's things that we're looking to do. I think that's a really fun feature to really help as you can, get creative to increase your amount of play during that off season when there's not a lot of daylight. So, and again, you can add that date range, different times. You have different blocks that can go out. So you can do this right here, and then you can start your second block of 18 for the second half of the day and get full instead of 118 there, just going through and rotating, you're using your full course at all times, maximizing your revenue. Any questions on that? Okay. Let's see. One of the other things that, I'll go into just, again, more for the private courses, but one thing we love to do for our daily fee courses is that we want to give you the same, we just give you guys all the capability and customization you want. And one of the best ways to create revenue is through residual money programs and automation. And so when you can create passes that renew every month. So a lot of courses, not a lot, we've just seen more courses going to be like, hey, you have unlimited play. Again, you can create passes in our system that say, listen, during Monday through Thursday, I'm going to sell you a pass for $1,000 a month or $500 a month. It's probably more realistic, or $400, whatever it is. Maybe it's $250 a month. whatever it is, but it's a reoccurring charge every single month. They can play unlimited they just go on a book a tee time. The system will automatically detect they have that pass, so they don't pay. And maybe if they want a cart, they pay for carts only, and you'll get to be able to do that. But you come in here and you can create different passes to where, you know, I'm going to do a golf pass and I'm going to get creative, and it's whether 9-hole, 18, but during that Monday, Tuesday, Thursday, these guys can play unlimited during these time periods. And again, you can add multiple schedules to give them like, hey, in the morning they can play this time, in the afternoon they can play this time, and this is your pricing for 9 holes. And if you want to charge for carts only, then you put in, you know, like $20. They just pay $20 if they want to, if they're walking, or, you know, push cart, do $5. You can do that however you want. And so you can create those programs, residual programs, where they can just book online, and your credit card processing is just that you have that residual coming every month. And our system allows you to be creative, and you can call it a membership. You can call it a pass. You can do whatever you want. And on top of that, so this is how the passes work, but then you can actually go in to a, under the club admin, you can actually go into the, go in here, and you can create reoccurring charges. Like, here's a reoccurring charge. Let's just say you have a certain pass. Let's just do, you can create this however you want. I can say, you know, this is more, again, this is more for private, but as a public course, you can come in and create passes to be like, you know what, I'm going to call this our weekly, or, you know, weekly play membership. And all of a sudden you can be like, okay, they can play unlimited. They get $250. It's a monthly fee, and it's automatically charged to them, or they get a statement that they get billed every month that they have to pay, and they can pay online. They can do all that, but then they can come in here and you can just, and it sends them a statement to their email every month. It sends them all these things that they have access to, so they can see the usage of it. You can come in here and create one-time charges to those memberships. You can create groups, and you can be, if you have people that play all the time, you can create these little membership groups, or you can do these little player groups, and you can, if they want to do weekly dues, like you can even use this for your leagues. If you want to charge your guys', you know, every month, you can get really creative using a private club software for your public course. And you can allow them to charge an account too, with the public courses. That's the one thing we're just, our system is for public and for private, but we allow even the private courses need to use things that the public courses use to create more revenue. And that's for guest passes. Maybe they can, you know, they can purchase a punch pass at the beginning of the year for all their guests and things like that. They can do these things for their guests and for, you know, their family members, depending on the rules and situation. And then vice versa, the public course can use these membership details to increase the revenue for their players and create memberships for their system as well. So there's a lot of things in there that we feel is just, again, being able to customize and give the power back to the operators to be creative and create stuff within the system. That's important to us. Okay, so a question, anything on that really quick? If not, there's a question out there and I can show a few things. If you come in here, so tournaments, we are actually doing a big upgrade on our tournaments. You'll see our tournaments 2.0. This is, again, in our sandbox that I can come to, or from the tee sheet, one way or the other. I can come in here and I can either block out multiple times. This says I have number of times I can make in a row is 44 on this tee sheet. Let's just say I want to just block out 12. I just hit book the tee times. I can assign it to a member, either using a phone number and it pulls it up, or I can use a name, pulls it up. I'm going to use me here, and I am going to book that tee time right there. And then now this block comes up to where I can come in here and I can edit these guests, and I can do that. So that's a group playing that you can do. And if you need to delete certain ones, you can. Like, I can delete this time, and you can come in here and I can even delete that player individually. So there's a group booking. And then for tournaments, I can even come in here and add event here, or I can add an event over here in the event center. And I can do a club event, group event, name it, number of flights, number of rounds. Like if we're going to do 2 rounds, it'll add, which date, time it starts, time it ends. Let's just go do a couple here. I'm just going to do 1 round and stroke play, 18 holes, create. There's a tournament block right there. And then when I come in here, I can edit this event and add players from groups that I've created or from registrations. I'll put all these guys in there. And then, how many guys did I have there? I can do groups of 3, groups of 4. Let me add players again. So I'm going to put Ricky Bobby in there, put James Bond, Ron Burgundy, Tony Finau, Ricky. This is a great group. Once you put them in there, you can kind of rotate them around. This is how you can configure that. You can do it as a shotgun start, which tee they're gonna play on. I can completely randomize them. I can do threesomes. I can do twosomes. However you want to do. There's a lot of configuration in there. And again, you're gonna love the whole new look that we're doing on it. But it does allow you to do game options and payments of what the green fee, food, perks, credit book, this will add up when you add all this up, what the member's paying is, and if there's any sponsor amounts, and it does report out separately. Your payout is gross or net. Whatever, if you don't put anything in gross, it'll only pay out net. And you can do a percentage or an amount, and you can do it for different flights as well. One of the things too is, whoops, wrong one. When I come in here, I can go, we even have a whole prep list for tournaments where you can do pin sheets, and I can come in here and edit each one and put where the pin is. Your rule sheets are, once you create one, it'll stay there, full HTML, and you can customize it and save it. Cart signs, same thing, print out there your alpha list for your players, what their tee time is, what hole they're starting on. Scoring sheet for plotter printers for the big ones that you can print out. You can do closest to the pin. If I'm going to do on hole 3, do that, print that out. Same thing with long drive. And nice thing is that I can come here and I can be for everybody, or maybe this is just the women's long drive. This is going to be the men's long drive. There's a lot of things we can do in there. And then once you have that, you can print those out as well. So going through that really quick, just saves you time. It helps you kind of create that ability to do things. And then once you start it as well, you'll be able to come back in here and you can actually score an event and just input the things, or they can do it electronically. And then once you're in there for the events as well, you can come in here and review the club events to see what, let's go to, I'm going to just do this Texas Scramble here that was in here, and it'll be like, okay, these guys, they tied for first, so they each split that, and then everyone else, this is what they got. The net payout is down here, gross payout here. I can go review something else too, if 2-person best ball, again, net, gross, and then you can click on here and see the results. And this is a public, people will be able to see that if you make it public for live scoring and everything as well. So net results down here, these guys won. This was a tie, and you just click on whoever won the playoff, you just click on the gold cup, whatever one it is, and it'll finalize that in there. We are full partners of the USGA, so everything that is posted here, if it is a postable score, does go directly to the USGA if you choose it, and post your members and players' scores for tournaments. But yeah, I think so that's just a quick deal of what it looks like and what it'll do. And again, like, we have a big upgrade coming on our tournament software that is going to be so good for registration and management for things like that. And that's part of another revenue piece is that we're building a registration and management portal that comes with our system, but you're able to resell it to, say you have a lot of charity events and you have a lot of outside events come, you can actually say, here's our packages, and for another dollar amount, we'll help you run it and use our registration process, do everything. And it's a really cool management. If anybody wants to see what that looks like offline, just let me know and we can go through that to see. But it does allow you to actually sell that tournament package. So, most people just use a spreadsheet, these things, but they can actually have limited access to the tee sheet to add names and to edit. And so do you. And so you get to have a little more control and see what's going on. So you're a little more prepared for that day of the tournament from that outside group. And you can, again, it's completely based upon how you want to do it. And it just creates loyalty. It creates those types of things. We want to be able to add to do things. And some of the things that we've done outside, the box that we feel that nobody else is doing is that we actually have our own electric vehicle charging stations. We install them, we sell them, we manufacture them with a third party, but we control all the pricing, we control all the credit processing so that we can go install those on your light posts. So they're very innovative. So you don't have to do all this drilling and digging. It can actually just tie straight into the electrical feed on your light posts. And it's just a simple plug and play. Very affordable too. Most of these EV charging stations don't cost you a dime because of the rebates, either through the state or federal government. And we go through all that with you to help you do the research and kind of get you so you know what it is. But EV charging stations, the golf course is one of the only areas outside your home and the work that you're spending 2 to 6 hours at. And it's great for travel too. If people are coming by, again, another marketing thing where you can be like, hey, come charge your car and come get some food in the golf course if you have a restaurant. If you're in a really nice area like off a freeway or something, or charge your car while you hit a bucket of balls while you wait as you're traveling through. Charge your car while you play 9 holes, 18 holes, whatever it is. There's a lot of marketing you can do with EV charging stations. And so once those are installed, we don't have to do them at golf courses either. We've done some for counties and cities, just at their other locations as well, like their fairgrounds or whatever it may be. But but even for private courses, you can make that a convenience to say, hey, we're going to just have these EV charging stations, and you can do one thing. It can charge your account directly, or if it's a pay and charge, what they do, they come up, they tap their card, insert the plug. When they're done, it's done. And you can even set parameters around utilization. Let's just say that you don't want a car sitting there charging forever, and you can set hey, and they can choose I just want to charge an hour. I just want to charge 2 hours. You can set parameters on what they can and can't do, and time periods as well for the charging with that. There's an app that comes with it. There's a QR code that they can scan, have a card on file, so they can just scan their QR code, charges their card, and they walk away for people that are repeat users at your course, things like that. So that's a lot of fun that we love, the EV charging stations that I think are pretty unique, that more and more people are going towards. I think, getting on board with that, why the benefits are still good, to get ahead of the game is a great way of doing it. And then we also have self-checking kiosks where we don't want to deter from people coming into the pro shop, but say there's a long line and you just have regular guys that come in. They can come in and they can check in through a kiosk, say hi, whatever, go out, and then they can even come in and book online. They can just, right after the round, just walk into the pro shop instead of talking there. They just go to the thing, they log in, find the tee time, book it, boom, they walk out, they're done, they're ready for their next one. So there's a lot of different things that we're going to work on that with and add, especially for tournament days, because our kiosks can be portable, where you can just, as people come in, for tournaments, they just come in and check in. And that we don't have that capability, but that's what we're working on this year, is to get more. Our kiosk integration is just very simple right now. It's just booking a tee time, it's checking in, paying, things like that. Very simple, very easy. But it allows you just think of the reason we love the self-checking kiosks is that the payroll costs that you can save. You can have, instead of having 2 or 3 people behind the desk, if you're really busy, you can have 2 or just 1. And then the rest of them just use self-check-in kiosks. If there's a couple people in line, they can check in and use that. And so payroll costs become an issue, and it helps you save money there to help, again, create revenue for your top line. Yeah. Okay. I think, hour's almost up. We went through most everything that we're doing and what we love to help you guys create revenue. And I'm going to open it up for a few questions. Anything else that you guys would love to share. And then I'm always available offline as well. So it's just really easy, membersports.com or nick@membersports.com to reach me on my email. So anything, Scott, anything else you guys have you want to talk about?
No, I think this is great. Any other questions anybody has real quick? If not, we'll, like Nick said, his contact information is on our website. If you go to our partners page, just find the MemberSports logo. You can reach out to him there, and we'll also have it in the email when we send this video out in our weekly email. But Nick, we appreciate the support. I know I learned a lot of cool stuff you guys have going on, and certainly technology can help all of our members in their daily lives. So we appreciate you jumping on to do this today.
Yeah, thanks. And feel free, like we love working with people in the industry. If there's ideas, you just want to have questions, you want to learn. We do a lot of research and we do a lot of things. So use me as a sounding board. Get creative with programs that you guys want to. We'd love to share what other courses are doing. If you're looking for things like that, we love sharing and doing that, and letting everybody know, and we just love ideas. I just love coming up with new things and just always thinking about what's coming up and doing what's great. So reach out for us. Even if you're not interested in using our system, I'm open to have conversations and just get to know you guys. We're all about relationships. And so that's what we're looking for.
Well, that is great. That's what, I guess what this industry is about, is relationships. So we appreciate that. And again, appreciate your support of the section.
Yep. Thank you.
Thanks, everybody.